everyone, and welcome back to English Podcast Hub. I'm Sophia.
Hi there, I'm Mason.
And I'm Alice. Today, we're diving into a topic that affects all of us at some point going to the bank.
That's right. Whether you're opening a new account, making a deposit, or applying for a loan, understanding how to navigate the bank can be very helpful.
Exactly. We'll guide you through common banking situations, vocabulary you might need, and how to handle various transactions confidently.
So, let's get started with a common scenario, opening a new bank account. Sophia, could you walk us through what this process usually involves?
Sure. When you go to the bank to open a new account, the first step is to choose the type of account you need, like a checking account, savings account, or maybe even a business account.
That's right. You'll need to provide some personal information, like your ID, proof of address, and sometimes your social security number. It's also a good idea to ask about any fees or minimum balance requirements.
And once you've filled out the necessary paperwork, you might need to make an initial deposit to activate your account. This amount varies depending on the bank and the type of account.
Good points. After opening the account, you'll receive a checkbook or a debit card, and you'll be set to start banking.
Next, let's talk about making deposits and withdrawals. Alice, what should our listeners know about these transactions?
When making a deposit, you can do it in person at the bank, through an ATM, or even via mobile banking apps. If you're depositing a check, make sure to endorse it by signing the back.
And for withdrawals, you can use an ATM or go to the bank's counter. Remember to keep track of your account balance to avoid overdraft fees. Also, using an ATM might come with fees if you're using one outside your bank's network.
Great advice. Now let's discuss something a bit more involved: applying for a loan. Sophia, what's the process for this?
Applying for a loan involves a few steps. First, you need to decide what type of loan you need, whether it's for a car, home, or personal use. Then, you'll need to gather your financial documents, like income statements, credit history, and details about any existing debts.
And don't forget to check your credit score before applying. A higher credit score can improve your chances of getting approved and might even get you a better interest rate.
Absolutely. Once you've submitted your application, the bank will review your financial information and decide whether to approve your loan. They may also ask for additional documentation or clarification.
If approved, you'll sign a loan agreement outlining the terms, including the interest rate and repayment schedule. Make sure to read this carefully.
Good advice. Now let's bring in some real-life experiences. Today, we have two special guests, Rachel, who recently opened a savings account, and Tom, who applied for a home loan.
Welcome, Rachel and Tom. We're excited to hear about your experiences.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to share what I've learned about opening a savings account.
Glad to be here. I look forward to discussing my home loan experience.
Great, Rachel. Can you walk us through your experience of opening a savings account? Let's make this as real as possible. Imagine you're at the bank right now.
Sure, so I walk into the bank, and the first thing I do is approach the teller at the counter. I say, "Hi, I'd like to open a savings account, please." The teller smiles and asks for my ID and proof of address.
That's a great start. What happens next?
The teller then hands me a form to fill out. It asks for basic information like my name, address, and social security number. I also have to choose what type of savings account I want, whether I want a high-yield account or a regular savings account.
Did you have any questions during this process?
Yes, I did. I asked the teller about the differences between the types of savings accounts and if there were any fees associated with them. The teller explained that the high-yield account offers a better interest rate but may have a higher minimum balance requirement.
It's great that you asked those questions. After you completed the form, what was the next step?
After filling out the form, I handed it back to the teller. They processed it and asked me to make an initial deposit. I decided to deposit $100 to get started. The teller then gave me a new account number and a temporary checkbook. They also explained how to access online banking.
Sounds like you had everything covered. Tom, can you share a similar real-life scenario about applying for a home loan?
Absolutely. I'll walk you through it. I first made an appointment with a mortgage advisor. When I arrived at the bank, I introduced myself and explained that I was interested in applying for a home loan. The advisor greeted me and asked me to provide some preliminary information about the loan amount and the property I was interested in.
What happened next?
The advisor then explained the types of loans available and asked for detailed documents, including my income statements, tax returns, and information about my current debts. I had to provide my credit report as well.
That's quite a list of documents. How did you handle gathering them?
I organized all my documents beforehand. I made sure everything was up to date and accurate. It was a bit of a task, but it made the application process smoother.
How was the review process?
After submitting everything, the bank reviewed my application and my financial situation. They contacted me to clarify a few details and ask for additional documentation. It was a bit nerve-wracking, but I appreciated their thoroughness.
Once you were approved, what was the final step?
Once I was approved, I had to review and sign the loan agreement. The agreement outlined the loan amount, interest rate, and repayment schedule. I asked a lot of questions to ensure I understood everything before signing.
Excellent. It's clear that being well prepared and asking questions made a big difference. Let's summarize some key points from today's episode.
Sure. When opening a bank account, choose the right type, gather necessary documents, and ask about fees and account features.
For making deposits and withdrawals, understand the different methods available and keep track of your account balance to avoid fees.
When applying for a loan, gather all required documents, check your credit score, and carefully review the loan terms before signing.
I hope my experience helps others feel more confident about opening a bank account.
And I hope my loan experience helps those going through a similar process.
Thank you, Rachel and Tom, for sharing your experiences. It's always valuable to hear real-life examples.
And thank you to all our listeners for joining us today. We hope you found the episode both informative and engaging.
If you have any questions or need more tips, feel free to reach out to us on social media.
And don't forget to subscribe to English Podcast Hub for more episodes. We're here to help you navigate everyday situations with confidence.
Until next time, keep learning and stay inspired.